Hello, everyone, and welcome to an interview that I'm doing with Joshua Caldwell, the director and writer of Infamous. So I got a chance to watch the film last night for the first time, and I was oddly very into this film. I was very ingrained into the story. It seems, in a weird way, very timely to everything that's going on right now with the current movement, not only with Black Lives Matter, but also just everything going on with politicians and social media and celebrities being canceled and all this good stuff. So I would like to just kind of open up this interview by asking, where the hell did this idea come from?
Yeah. I had seen a picture years ago of this young couple, good-looking couple, being led away by LAPD. And the woman was kind of leaning in for a kiss or pulling away from a kiss. And, the media at the time with the picture had said, oh, it's a new Bonnie and Clyde. And I don't think it was actually that, but it just stuck with me. And I was like, okay, we haven't seen it in a while. Sure, somebody else will do it. They didn't, but I kind of came back to that because I was interested in a heist movie. I wanted to kind of figure out a way to do a heist movie. And I sort of came back to Bonnie and Clyde, thought, oh, Bonnie and Clyde became famous because of newspapers trying to sell, media trying to sell newspapers. What's that modern equivalent? And it's social media. The sort of, the collision now between the pursuit of likes and pursuit of followers with violence is not that far-fetched. And I decided, I thought, oh, this might be a really interesting sort of a commentary without being judgmental, if that makes sense, but a way of sort of threading the needle with this this idea of what is social media fame? Why are we in pursuit of it? Is it valuable? Is it not? On the backbone of the great, American fascination with crime.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of brings me to my follow-up question to that is, what is your take? Why is there been this obsession with internet fame that has been going on now since the beginning of YouTube, I think?
I think it's that there's no longer any gatekeepers. You used to have gatekeepers saying, well, this person should be on TV, this person should not be on TV, this person should be in the newspaper. And that is no longer the case. Now, anybody with a phone and something to say can build and reach an audience of tens of millions of people. There are plenty of examples of people you've never heard of that are not famous for any other reason who have millions and millions of fans and followers. And so I think it's that aspect of it. You no longer have to audition and get on a reality show to become famous. You have the ability to do it yourself, and people are doing it. And I think the side of, or the other aspect of that is that you're continually trying to get those likes and get that audience to engage. And so you're engaging in crazier and crazier things. Not everybody, but often you're engaging in crazier and crazier things because they become desensitized to what you're doing, and it's no longer enough. And so that led me with the movie to say, well, let's go all out there. What is the extreme version of this? And it's frankly, I think that if this happened in real life, I think we'd all be following it. I think we would absolutely be following it. And the other side of that is the fact that with social media, it's not a qualitative experience. It doesn't matter whether people are following you because they hate you, because they like you, because they're fake. It doesn't matter. All that matters is that number. And that number thus then creates value and gives value to that profile or that person. Even if 99% of the people are following them or hating them, it doesn't matter, because the end metrics, all that matter. All that matters is that number of followers, and all that matters is that they're getting attention. And all that matters is that is that. And so, it would not surprise me if this ended up happening in real life, that we would probably all be tuning in.
100%. And I mean, I think you really hit upon something in your little explanation there. And that is that numbers talk. If you actually even think about, even let's just talk about our industry for a little bit. Like, you can talk, like, people always want, who do they want to do big interviews? The people at the Hollywood Reporter. They want the people at Variety, people who have the numbers. A
Yeah.
lot of you probably been talking to a lot of smaller outlets for a film like this.
Right.
And it's interesting because everyone wants those bigger outlets, but really at the end of the day, it's only because of the numbers.
Right.
You know, if somebody big at Hollywood Reporter steps away, they're going to have to work their way up the ladder like I did. It's
Right.
only because of the outlet. So I think it's very, very interesting. And given the amount of political debate that's going on right now within society, numbers really do seem to matter a lot more than ever before.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that if it's just the number, if it's just a quantitative pursuit, then you've removed any need to limit the morality of what it is you're after and how you're going after it. Because what does it matter? If people hate you, who cares? You know, all that people are seeing is the number. And I think that's a little scary. And not, you know, and by the way, I think that, you know, it's easy to maybe look at this movie because I fully expected this, right? It's easy to look at this movie and go, oh, this would never happen. Like the social media platforms would shut this down right away. And I'm like, probably, but I could see a version of this where all of a sudden, say Facebook or Twitter or whoever is going, we're not law enforcement. Who are we to say what a crime is? These people have not been convicted. These people have not been put on trial. They've not been, you know, put in front of a jury of their peers. Like, is it a crime? We don't know. Like, it's not a crime until you've been convicted of it. So, like, why should we take this down? I don't think we're that far from that. You know, they're already saying, well, we're not you know, we don't know what truth is. We don't know what fact is and fake. Who are we to say what fact? Who are we to say what a crime is? And I think that in a way makes it far more potentially, you know, realistic than people might assume. And you're already seeing that it's a very slippery slope, and they're already seeing it, you know. And so it wouldn't surprise me if there was that kind of reaction. And so, yeah, we're absolutely trying to be ridiculous with this movie. I mean, it's satire. You know, it's massive satire, and I think that, like, you absolutely shouldn't take it seriously, and we didn't really take it seriously. You know, the methods they use the characters are dumb, of course, but that doesn't matter. How crimes are already happening online. You know, it's insane.
No, it's very funny because I think you know, and I think anyone who's kind of like looking at this film and they can't see the satire elements of it are completely like just missing the point of the film, because like you purposely keep making like there's like the characters just continuously keep making out in between, like they're like turned on by every little thing that they do. Like they're in a heavy fight, like you think like some shit's gonna go down and that they're gonna leave one another and finally call it quits, and then they just start having sex. Like it's like I really, you know, like I appreciated that element of it, but it's also so very much like the area, you know, like you see movies like Florida Project and like Tangerine, like this is so very much like the culture. Yeah. Right. This is kind of like what it is. And you're kind of poking fun at it, but there's like this little hint of reality to it.
Yeah. Well, satire doesn't mean comedy.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
So often people confuse that. Satire doesn't mean comedy. And so what I wanted to do is I really wanted to ground, you know, this is not an objective sit back movie. You know, it's aggressively subjective. You are grounded in her reality. You're grounded in her point of view. You know, I always describe the movie as you are watching Ariel's social media feed. You know, you are seeing what she wants you to see. You're seeing it how she wants you to see it. And the audience is sitting in the theater, not really, but sitting at home, watching on their phone, you know, is not that different than just watching a regular social media feed. And so we really wanted to ground you in that and just take you along for the delusional ride that it is. You know, I mean, her arguments about, oh, we won't get arrested because we're famous are absolutely ridiculous. And also, it happens. How many people get off because they're celebrities? I mean, it's insane. So, you know, to me, I just wanted to really lean into the ridiculous, delusional aspect of it, even with the ending, to just say, like, you know what, like, this is not some after school special about the dangers of online social media fame. You know, this is like celebratory, because we celebrate it every day on online. You know, everything's glamorous, everything's FOMO, everything is like beautiful, and everything is colorful. And like, you know, that moment at the end for her is like, that's the summation of everything that she's ever wanted. And she got it. And it's totally delusional.
The ending of this actually reminded me a little bit of Ingrid Goes West.
Mm-hmm.
Where like, you know, kind of, you know, very, both your film and that film, very dark in tone, but basically talking about this idea of being internet famous. I do want to ask you, you seem very candid and open. How did it feel releasing a film like this during this particular time that we're in right now?
We had discussions about it, you know. I think though that the movie, you know, is not about what's going on, but at the same time could potentially be a side conversation, you know, about it. And I think that, you know, if people want to challenge that and want to turn it into a discussion, I'm all for it, because I think the movie lends itself to that, you know. I think it lends itself to questions of like, where is that support? Should people be, you know, supporting people like this because they're doing it? As much as everybody wants to say, oh, we're in a time now where everybody's using their like social media for good and all that stuff. I'm like, I still see some of these people with tens of millions of followers and they're not offering anything to the conversation, you know. So we're still doing it. And America has a history of very quickly forgetting important things and very easily sliding into the not important things. I mean, COVID's over, right? We're done with COVID. COVID's done. And yet people are still dying. So it's like, you know, I think that at the end of the day with this, you know, we obviously did not know or could not have predicted everything that's going on. And frankly, like, despite what people may take away from the movie, all of us on the cast and crew and we're all fully supportive of the movement, you know, and everything going on, and believe fervently in it. And at the same time wanted to craft something that would be a conversation piece. And so I think that, you know, obviously all this other stuff is way more important, you know, but I think at the end of the day, if this can maybe spur side conversation or make us wonder, you know, we probably would be doing this in real life. And so maybe I need to go follow this other person and give them value, right? Because where now with social media, it's about where are we placing our value. And if you want to retweet the leader who shall remain nameless in hate, you are nonetheless fueling the value of that statement. So you know, it's not easy. I think people are smart and they're able to separate it, you know, and but at the same time they're able to sort of see, well, there's elements of in here that are worth having a discussion about, or worth bringing up, and worth making me think about, is this something that we should really be supporting? I hope, you know, should we really support this film? I don't know. I mean, it's pretty wild and people get it, but you know, it's nice to see people are getting it. People get it, you know, and if you don't, you don't. I can't do anything about that.
I think this is a film that would have done really, really well on like the festival circuit. You know, I think this is one that really sparks conversation. There was a film I saw at Sundance just this year, right before all this stuff happened. I think it's called Spree, if I remember correctly. It's about a guy who wanted to be famous. So he's a Uber driver, and he YouTube videoed everything that was going on. And he decided that he would want to start killing passengers who were assholes.
Right.
So, you know, obviously, like, you're not the only one making these movies. So obviously there's something very, very important. There's something very, very relevant about these subjects. And I think they lead to a much bigger conversation that I hope that we will continue to happen. One last thing before I let you go. I think casting Bella Thorne was a brilliant move.
Thank you.
For many, many reasons. But more so because of almost like her love-hate relationship that she has with the media and on social media with people. So what was the intention of that, of casting her, and how do you feel as the final film is in the bag, how she did overall?
I feel like anybody else playing this role, it would have been, you would have seen the fakeness of it. You know, I mean, no offense to great actresses, but I think you would have felt like they were playing a role. To me, Bella exists as this character, you know, It's not her, obviously. She's not doing this, but she's so such a match for it that it's hard to separate the two, which to me is in this role a sign. I mean, I can't imagine anyone else playing it. And she was somebody I thought of early on, simply because I felt like, who's going to play this character? Like, she's so unlikable, so unsympathetic, like people are going to hate her, and who's going to be okay with that? And I was like, Bella might be. Like, she's played types of characters before. She seems willing to take risks. And we got it to her early on, and she came on about a year before we started filming. So we had a lot of chance with her to like discuss things and come up with the character and really work on the character together. But I think she's fantastic in it. And I think like the reactions sort of prove that, even if they're people that don't like it. Because I think it makes you like, it puts you in a position of being so uncomfortable because it feels so real. And it's hard to separate Bella's in real life, who is aggressively herself. I so respect the fact that she just puts herself out there and does not care what anybody thinks, and that's what you need in somebody playing this character, because you can't be timid about it. You just have to go all in.
Yeah, I gotta say, I've seen her in a lot of different things. This is without question the best thing I've ever seen her do.
Oh, thank you.
She just feels so grounded in this world. You can tell that she really believes in the character. The performance takes her, to another level. She's just so committed to the material.
Yeah,
and you can tell that she feels so passionately about it.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun to see that, right? It was fun to be on set, when she's talking to Dean at the fire, and you're like, God, like, it's like you want to fall in love with her, and then the next day you're shooting something where she's just being like, she's giving Dean, and you're just like, I just hate this person, like, and to walk that line throughout the movie is not easy, because that's the character that we wrote and really wanted to put out there. Like, in a way, kind of give you every reason not to follow this person, because even looking back at the myth of Bonnie and Clyde, they were not good people. They've been so romanticized over the years, and they're not good people. They killed cops with impunity. I mean, they just, like, somebody would roll up, like, to give them a speeding ticket, and they'd blast them with a shotgun. Did not care, led a horrible life, and did it mostly just for money and to wear nice clothes. Not a whole lot of depth. No Robin Hooding, and so I was interested in that version, because I also feel like we're not, again, this kind of already exists. We kind of follow people that are just horrible people, and thus give value to it. But it was also a fun character. I really wanted to push the limit with her, and she was willing to go there, which is a testament to her and what she brought to this film.
Awesome. All right. Well, I know we have to wrap it up, but just for viewers, because I like to always ask filmmakers this, if you had to give a simple pitch as to why someone should check this movie out, go for it, and we'll end the interview on that.
I think that you should watch this movie because it's batshit crazy. And even if you hate it, you're going to love it, because it's just ridiculous and over the top. And, maybe it'll make you think. And if not, like, I think you'll at least have a good time.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Joshua. Good luck with the film. I hope it did well in drive-ins. I didn't even see the numbers yet this weekend, but
yeah, we're waiting for them.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. Good. I appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time.
All right. No problem. Have a good one. Take care.
You too.